Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Kenny, can you walk us through your plans for quarterback? Because we thought it was going to be Jaden, and then they were both going to play, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't want to get too into one piece of it. Obviously, Jaden was going into the week as the starter. And then, actually it was reported on. He was late to a meeting, and we have policies. And one thing we're not going to do is I'm not going to be a coward. If I say there's a standard for the program, there's going to be a standard for the program. And whether that hurts us or doesn't hurt us, that's the foundation we're trying to set. And then Trenton was going to go, and he got sick. So his brother started puking, and then he started puking. So we tried to get him back, but he just said, I'm sick, I'm puking, I can't go. So we then went into the wildcat mold there to start it up.
How soon before the game was it that he said he couldn't go?
On the field.
Like right, literally, as you're
No. During pregame.
Oh.
So we knew. So we got to be able to put together a pretty scripted drive from the Hellcat deal, and try to put our players in the best position to be successful.
Kenny, Chris Cartman, Son of a Source. They kind of exploited you in the secondary with their approach in the first half. What were some of the factors that you saw there?
Yeah, we couldn't create a pass rush with 4. And if you can't create a pass rush with 4 and you play good wideouts, it's hard. So all year, pass rush has been one of our top things. Early in the year, we were able to scheme up more pass rush pressures. But at the end of the year, teams just said, no, we'll just let 2 or 3 guys get into route combinations, and we'll max pro you and play that game. So, we got to be able to try to rush the pass with 4, and then those wideouts are good, and, they got open. It sounds boring and simple, but simple as that. You give a good quarterback enough time to send 2 NFL wideouts down the field, and you can't hit them, they're going to get open. So we got to go back to work, try to get better in the offseason, and we will, and go win next year.
Kenny Hodorobino, Devil's Digest. I know you talked all year long about the buying into the culture and what you are trying to establish. You're obviously not one bit, satisfied with the performance and the result, but the fight that you showed in the second half, is that maybe just another testament of the culture and the fight of this team, never wavering? Yeah,
I mean, I didn't take this job and expect to go win 8 games. This was, yes. So the buy-in, what we're doing, the direction we're going, 100%. I mean, it's the direction that needs to be headed. It's what needed to be done this year. Even though it's not fun to lose games like this, it's not fun for all this stuff. Sometimes it's needed. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to bounce back up. And where we were as a program, in the direction we're going, I have 1,000% confidence that the ball's bouncing up, not down. But I do believe we finally hit rock bottom. I think everybody knows that. And then once you hit it, you start going up. And I believe that's what we're doing.
Coach Michael Carrasino, Pitchfork Lunch. I know you talked about, obviously, guys battling all year, but to focus on a guy like Joey Ramos, on a senior day, just obviously he's moving on, but, what has he meant to this team and just the grit that he showed all year?
Oh, yeah, he's been battling through, God knows what, just to fight. So he's a competitor. He's a fighter. We went out there, we ran the ball pretty well today. The game got away from us, so we couldn't continue to run the ball like that, which was unfortunate. But we did the whole line, getting Sione back was really good. We had, 7 going into the game, which was, a bonus for us, to be honest. And I thought those guys played hard, leading with Joey.
Sammy Newt, Devil's Digest. Coach Trey Brown came in here and said that this was the one culture he felt he could buy into in the 5 or so cultures he's been a part of. How important is it to you that you got through to a veteran player that has experienced a lot, and his culture and your culture was represented? Yeah,
like I told the guys, I said, everybody out of this room is going to look at this year and they'll be like, oh, it's a failure. Oh, that's one of the worst junior and senior classes that have ever come through ASU. And I said, but the people in this room are going to look at this room, and I'm going to look at this room as you guys come back as the people who set the foundation for where you're going. And when you guys come back and watch us play in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 20 years, you guys are going to get to say, we were the ones who had to drag people to be there 5 minutes early. We were the ones who had to say, yes, you have to sit somebody because he was late to something. We were the ones who made the sacrifices. And that's what I told him is, proud of the group for being the people who started to lay the foundation. And even though the outside world won't appreciate it, I do.
Hey, Kenny, what do the next couple weeks kind of look like for you and the staff in terms of reflecting and learning maybe from this year and then starting to turn the page?
Yeah, I have exit meetings with all the players and staff starting Monday. So 180, 190 meetings, whatever that plays out to be for the next 4 days. And then fundraise. Like, I can go recruit. It's cool. I'm going to go fundraise because that's what the name of the game is nowadays. So what are we doing? I'm going to go and fundraise. Staff's going to go out and recruit players. I'll go out and recruit some players, but I'm recruiting people who want this place to win as well, and that has nothing to do with players. And that's one of the biggest factors in college football right now. And you know, that's my job as the head coach. It's not just the coach. It's not just to lead a culture. It's not just to get people to graduate. It's not just to have the highest GPA they've ever had here. The first spring we were here, it's not just that. It's all inclusive. And the longer I'm the head coach here in year 2 and 3, there are no excuses. There's never excuses because that's where college football is different than the NFL. It's different because you pick everything that happens in your program you're in control of. So when we're in year 2 and we're in year 3, when you're in year 4, everything is 100% a reflection of what I've allowed to happen. And that starts with donors and fundraising and getting people involved. So I got to go do that this week.
Tia Reed, Crown Guy Sports Network. Coach, what were some of the adjustments that you guys made on the defensive side of the ball in the second half that allowed you to maybe slow them down a little bit, maybe bring a little bit of morale back?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think our guys just kept fighting. The calls were the same. A few more, pressures, single backer pressures to the back a little bit to maybe cut down the backside of the zone or squeeze it with the backside end, which hit a few times, which was a positive for us. But, so I would say more 5-man pressures just because we didn't get home in the first half with the 4-man rush. So, if you can't get home with 4-man rush and you can't cover 7 with 4, or my fault, 4 with 7, right, then there's an issue. And those wideouts are good. They run fast, and they get crossers on you vertically down the field. So we had to make an adjustment to try to pressure a little bit more.
Coach Caleb Campetto, Devil's Digest. From the final whistle to when you stepped in here right now, has there been anything distinctive of it's already caught your eye that starting Monday that things are going to start getting moving again and things are just going to start to take a step forward and get back to work?
Yeah, the guys that want to come back to be a part of the program next year, you can just see it. You can see it. They're not wavering in terms of the direction we're going. They know the direction's set right. They believe in the direction, and they're like, okay, this is what it takes. Like what we did this last year, all right, it wasn't good enough, so let's get better. And they're going to help us bring players into the program to help us be better. So that's what I noticed after the game is there was a lot of guys that are pissed off, that don't know what it looks like yet, but we're learning what it looks like and what it takes. And that takes time, and it sucks. It's not fun. I keep saying it. It's miserable. Like, you think I like coming up here and talk about how we just lost Territoria Cup? It's miserable. But what are you going to do? Go back to work. It's part of the process. It sucks, but it is what it is. We're going to get that thing back. And when we get it back, it's going to be in a home that's built right.
Doug Franz Unplugged, WTSMTV.com. Kenny, you mentioned fundraise. You are from here. You know everything about this school. You started off by saying activate the Valley. How would you rate how the Valley did in year 1, and how much effort, work do you need to put in to get 2024 what you want it to be?
Yeah, I think I'm happy with the fans, with the support from that standpoint. I think, in the last 2 weeks it's gotten better. But, at the end of the day, it's a tough deal because the Valley, I'm from here, so I can say anything I want about the Valley, right? Because I'm one of them. I'm talking about myself, is we're front runners, right? We love watching winners. Well, the hard part is in college athletics, right? What comes first? The support comes first. Unfortunately, in pro sports, the support doesn't have to come before the wins, right? You can just jump on board when the Diamondbacks go play the season they played. When the Suns just go on a run, you can just jump on board. You can't do that in college athletics. The support is what allows you to ride the wave. So I think it got better than what it was in the prior years. But I think just the educating piece on what it takes to actually be a consistent winner in collegiate athletics, especially when you're in a metropolitan city. Everybody who's associated with ASU has to take a little more ownership of it because there's so many other things to do, right? That's why metropolitan cities, I can't tell you the last time they won a national championship because there's so many other draws. If we want to get to where we go, we're heading in the right direction. The support's in the right direction. People are, in my opinion, getting there, but we just got to slowly get better and better and better. And that's why this is a process. I knew it was a process. But when we get there, when we get the support right, as we continue to build, when we continue to bring guys in this program who believe, as we establish the culture, once this place gets rocking, it'll never fall again.
Kenny, Jake Seymour, Thunderbolt Source. You mentioned that this senior class is the one to kind of build the foundation. What do the other players have to do to kind of continue that movement and kind of finish off the house?
Yeah, well, we have the standards now for just how you operate and try to win. I think we have to bring guys into the program. They have to teach those guys the standards of what it looks like. We have to then get enough depth by bringing guys in that we can practice. You know, that was, if I take one thing away from this year, the most disappointing thing was the inability to practice in season. We didn't get any better. We got worse. And it just pains me to say that out loud, is our football team from week 6 or 7 got worse as the season progressed because we were so banged up we couldn't practice versus each other. And that's unfortunate because teams that I've been a part of take a lot of pride in practicing in season and getting better in season, and we just didn't have enough bodies to do that and then field a team, which is the unfortunate part. So hopefully we get back to work in spring. We understand the physicality it takes, carry that over into fall, and then next fall our guys are physically ready to go through physical practices. And those physical practices will get us ready for fall so we can continue to build and be physical practices in fall camp. But that kind of takes time, I mean, in reality. So are some of these banged up? Is that because of the spring ball and the fall camp of physicality? Yeah, I think so. And did that help us in the first 6 to 7 weeks? I mean, other than one game, we played pretty good football in the first 6 to 7 weeks. Did we get banged up and tired and fatigued at the end of the year? Hell yes. Did that hurt us there? Yes. Foundation. It's the build, right? So you can't get mad, because I do feel like we got fatigued at the end of the year and we got worn down, and then we didn't get better because we couldn't practice. So a lot of negatives towards the end that are going to be fixed as we continue to build the roster and teach our guys how to practice and what it takes to practice at a high level.
Yeah, Ben Yates, Inferno Intel, like you said, there's a lot of negatives and some unfortunate things that happened throughout this season. But it being your first one, what are some positive things that you can take away with the highlights of your first season?
Yeah, I mean, the highlights of year one, we won the same amount of games we won last year, right? Through all the adversity that we faced, right? We didn't get worse. Through the craziest year I've ever been a part of, and I've coached Pop Warner. I've coached at a park 7 minutes from here. And we faced more adversity in this game than when the lights wouldn't turn on at the park and you had to practice in the dark, right? We faced more adversity than that. And our guys didn't flinch. You go in the locker room, and you have guys saying, oh, we're in the right direction. We believe in the direction we're going. So all of those things are the main purpose of year one. The main goal of year one is to achieve buy-in, to set a direction, to set a course. And nowadays in college football, everybody has their own vision for what they want. And some people want to go to a place and win now. How quickly can I win right now? Because, to be honest, they don't want to be there. Most coaches don't want to be at the job they have, right? They want to get another job. So they're going to do everything that, we have $2.5 million in NIL, spend it all right now, empty the bank load. I have to win this year so I can leave. That's how a lot of people operate. That is the opposite how we're operating here, because I want to build something that's sustainable. And even though that may hurt us early in the process, when it gets built, it's going to last. And it's painful to sit up here and lose. I hate it. But even worse than losing would be in 5 years from now, not having built it.
Coach, coming off of his 9-week absence, how do you feel you could grade Jaden Rashada's performance today? I know it's tough, kind of what he faced coming into this game.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really impressed, and he's better than what I thought he was off high school tape at pocket movements, like just the ability to move around in the pocket and feel the pocket. I think he's better than that than I was anticipating, and to see him in another game just move around. Were there some things that, like, he comes out the field and he's like, golly, yes, he's a freshman in the third start, right? But did he deserve to start? Yes. Was he ready to start? Yes. So he made a great throw at the end there. We didn't have procedural penalties with a freshman in the game. He operated the offense fairly well. Were there a few things, like I said, that he'd like to have back? Of course, every quarterback does, and he's going to learn from, like, the one interception he threw. The post safety is driving the climb now in one-eye defense, which they can do in man coverage because they're not in thirds. You see the guy down, home run post. But for him, that's a learning experience, because if it's cover 3, you're going to throw the climb all day off the action. Being able to recognize, safety's down, or, the nickel's attaching to the crosser. It's man, locate the post safety, he's down. Those things you can only get through just practice and reps. So I was happy with him. I mean, I'm happy with the direction he's gone. He's a Sun Devil. He's passionate about this place, and I have a lot of confidence in him moving forward.
Yeah, Zach Tipton, Burn City Sports. Coach, this is the final game of the Pac-12. And what have you learned from facing, Pac-12 offenses in this incredible conference this year that will help you going into the Big 12 against brand new teams that most of the players and you have never faced before?
A lot of good quarterbacks, a lot of good wideouts this year. I mean, this is arguably the best Pac-12 has been, in a long time, since the USC era of Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush, maybe. But I don't know if it was this deep. I think we faced a very, very, very difficult schedule when you truly look at it, because how deep the Pac-12 is. And I think that's only going to, callous us moving forward, which is a good thing. You don't want things easy. Nothing in life easy is good. You want things hard. You want things gritty. You want things to be difficult. You don't love these moments, but they're actually good for you. They're good to feel the pain. It's needed in order to get to where you want to go.